Wine country. It's not exactly what you think of when you think of automotive enthusiasm. Maybe you should though, because it's not just about high-end resorts, fancy foliage, and tasting and spitting in buckets all day. There are twisty roads to be found, there are racetracks to be found, and there are new cars to be discovered.
This, as you can probably tell, right from looking at it, right from the get-go, is the 2015 Subaru WRX STI. And it's those last three letters that are the most important. This is the newest iteration of Subaru's most exciting car. Yeah, the BRZ is fun. Yeah, the standard WRX is fun. But this is the STI. This is the king daddy of them all. And we've come to Northern California to see what it can do. We're here on Carmel Valley's twisty roads. There's beautiful vistas behind us, but screw the scenery, look at the tarmac. We're gonna get this thing into the twisties. So what exactly are we dealing with here? Well, if you're a Subaru fan, you can guess that it's a boxer motor. This is the 2.5 liter EJ Series boxer engine. And it's turbocharged, and it makes 305 horsepower, and it does a whole lot with that because this car weighs right around 3,400 pounds, sends the power to all four wheels through the symmetrical all-wheel drive system. And this is exactly what you want out of a four-cylinder engine. It sounds fantastic, it makes good burbles. This one still has the opposing length headers, so you get that traditional Subaru burble, and that's what an STI buyer wants, and that's what Subaru is giving them here with the brand new 2015 STI. So we've spent the morning thrashing the new WRX STI on some curvy country California roads, and it's been an absolute joy. There's a lot to love about what's going on here. The suspension is great, the car's stiffer, the brakes are excellent, the 2.5 liter boxer motor loves to rev, can pull you out of corners pretty quickly because it's got some surprising low-end torque from a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. On top of that, the thing looks fantastic. You've still got a style that's very much a Subaru. You know what this is right when you look at it. You've got the big Pleiades badge up front, the little red STI on the side, and a big scoop. That lets you know you're dealing with a WRX STI. This one though, since it's the new car, has
LED headlamps, LED tail lamps.
It still has the big wing, which actually does add some downforce to the car. It's not just there for boy racer good looks, but we've had enough of tackling some of these California twisty roads. Well, you can never have enough, but when you have something else you get to drive on, like this track behind me, that is Laguna Seca. We're taking this out on the track.
So this is somewhat of a dream come true for me. This is Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, and if you've played any video games ever, you know that this is one of the must-drive tracks. I'm finally getting my chance to drive it. And this is a good car to do it in first. I mean, first in real life, not virtually. Because I've got all-wheel drive, I've got 300 horsepower, so I've got enough tools to have fun, but not enough that I'm in over my head. If I was here in a Ferrari F12, this would be a different day. I wouldn't turn that day down, but I like where we're going with this one. So let's see what this thing can do. So as I'm leaving the pit lane, I've got the center differential in auto minus, which is a little bit more in keeping the rear end getting all the power. And that's a good thing because you're on a friggin' racetrack. Additionally, the drive mode is in sport. I could put it into sport sharp, but I find that the throttle mapping is a hair aggressive there, and you can get the car pushing out more quickly than you'd like. Because this is a Subaru, so you still get some understeer in it, and that's just a fact of life, unfortunately. But you can do a little bit of left foot braking to bring that back in line and be away. And away you can be very quickly, actually. The new 6-speed manual gearbox, which is not shared with the WRX, even though that car did get a 6-speed gearbox, it didn't get this one. This one is much more set up for doing the stuff that an STI owner wants to do, which is lapping Laguna Seca and smiling like a frigging idiot, because this track is effing awesome. Everything you think you've known about driving it in a video game is true. That's kind of how it really is. The braking points are the same. Coming in right now, actually, to one of what looks to be the most challenging part of the course on video game actually isn't. That was just the corkscrew. Woo! That's the next turn where you can quickly F up a car because it's an off-camber downhill left. And as long as you're paying attention, it's not crazy. The next turn though, this one's pretty easy, but it runs to the turn, which I believe is turn 11, right till you get onto the main straight. And this one is a slow one. This is a second gear turn and it comes out a lot tighter. But in the WRX, you hammer it and you go. The brakes are excellent. I can't say enough good things about the brakes. The feel is so good and these Brembos aren't fading after, a few laps. I will tell you though that Subaru have fitted race pads to the front rotors. Not to the rotors, to the brakes. That's because these cars are doing heavy track tuning. That's the only modification done to this car, but you should know about it. Still though, when we were caning the other car on the street course, they were fine. Another interesting part about what they've done for the new car is they fitted a quicker steering ratio. Used to be these cars had 15-to-1 steering ratios, now it's 13-to-1. So, lock to lock, it's a much quicker reacting front end, and it's awesome out here on a course like this. Oh crap, we just went 5th gear down the straight, that was awesome. Excuse me for that butt puckering moment. So, as you can tell, it's been one hell of a day. We've attacked the streets of Northern California with the 2015 WRX STI, and then we took it to the racetrack. This is Laguna Seca, and this is where you really test cars. And we tested the car, and our conclusion is that it's awesome. I mean, how can you not like an all-wheel drive car with a 6-speed manual gearbox that makes burbly noises, has 300 horsepower, and is under $40,000? That's a sports car buy in our book. We are recording audio. Clap. This helmet's too big. That's not safe. Kids at home, that's not safe. Shibuya.